Now for the real deal New England feel.
I went off the rails. I might so now to be ashamed of myself.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Corso and Catone.
Welcome into Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. I'm Corso. Catone is here. Joe's with us in the booth. You are watching us on YouTube. When you're on YouTube, make sure you smash that like button.
Joe's already violent and aggressive. We just started.
So like the show, give us a thumbs up, hit that little bell, get all our notifications so that you never, ever, ever miss a show. And then also, hey, listen, when you're on there, make sure you check out our shorts and our short reels. Those are pretty popular. And leave a comment. We got one today we're going to play. Joe, you got that right? I think so. We got a comment that we from one of you about Jaylen Brown. So make sure you leave in the comments. But if you're listening to us, you're doing it on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, anyway you podcast, you're going to catch us. Got a good one today. B's and C's. Going to be a lot of Jaylen Brown talk today. A lot of Jaylen Brown talk. We caught a lot of crap last week for that title. Oof.
Oh, forget that. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that in Catone's comments.
Yeah, so stick around for that. And then in Clip That, we're going to have a few things to discuss, a little bit of World Cup, talking about the Red Sox a little bit, and Patrice Bergeron is going to get his number retired. So we'll just discuss that briefly. Hi, guys.
What's going on?
Hey,
how are we doing today?
Wonderful.
Living the dream.
Yeah. Listen, it's, July 1st. It's going to be 250th, but, United States. It's going to be.
I got all kinds of shirts and stuff and everything.
Yeah. It's going to be nice.
It's going to be off for a few weeks. Not live.
Oh, we're going to be off. We're going to be on our summer break. We always take our summer break. We got to rest before training camp starts, because then it really starts.
Right. But Joe will have some fun stuff for you people out there to take a look at while we're on a little bit of a, what Joe calls it, hiatus.
We're taking a little vacation and recharge.
But
Joe, if he doesn't take a vacation, he's already aggressive. He's not like me. I'm nice and calm.
I know it,
We'll see about that in Catone's comments in a few minutes. So, but first, lots to talk about. A lot happened here with Jaylen Brown and the Boston Celtics, and we want to discuss that. We want to do it in B's and C's whenever Joe's ready.
Hit it! Offer the Boston Celtics are the world champions, and they have shown the world how great a ball club they really are. Screen shot,
Baseline, we have to remember this, is that the Celtics made him available because they did not believe they were good enough. They aren't like saying, well, we really loved Giannis. They were like, our team isn't good enough. So they are now going to look and see if they can make a move. By the way, there were other bidders for Giannis that didn't make the final two. And those bidders will now turn their attention to Jaylen Brown, I suspect. I believe in my conversations, all my talks with the whole league yesterday, Greeny, were about this.
Yeah.
Okay?
About the Jaylen Brown.
What's going to happen if they don't have Boston? Which of these 4, 5, 6, 8 teams that could make a bid for him? And that's what we're going to hear about. The Celtics knew what was going to happen here. They are not stupid. They are experienced. They knew what was going to happen. They have backup plans. But what Shams mentioned is important. In mid-July, he becomes extension eligible. He has 3 years left on his deal. He is turning 30. It's not necessarily the time to add $100 million to his contract, even if everything was glorious and wonderful with Jaylen Brown, and they said to him, hey, we're not going to extend you. That was probably going to be a problem, and that probably computed into their thinking. So my guess is, even if Giannis wasn't available, I swear, I think Jaylen Brown might be on the block this year. So I think Jaylen Brown is probably, not for sure, probably going to be elsewhere when the season opens.
That was Brian Windhorst of ESPN discussing this, the whole Jaylen Brown situation and what the Celtics do now, pivot to a different direction after not landing Giannis. So, Mark, let's talk about this. First, let's just go back a little bit because we haven't had a chance to discuss this since Giannis was traded to Miami. So, why didn't this happen? Why didn't Boston land Giannis?
I think they didn't want to give up, Chris, the draft picks. They wanted draft picks in return. Like, they don't want to give up They don't want to give up the draft picks, and they had to give up a player. I think if it was like maybe they would have given up a draft pick and Brown. If it was like a one-on-one trade, they weren't giving up a player too. They really seem to like this kid Gonzalez, Chris. This Hugo Gonzalez. They think that kid's going to be a player. So they don't. I think they were okay with just a straight up Brown, Giannis. Maybe one pick is involved, maybe, but that's it. I think Milwaukee asked for too much, and they weren't going to. They weren't going to do that.
Yeah. So then, does this mean they weren't really all in then on Giannis? I mean, look, you can't see what went down and say, well, the Celtics were all in on Giannis because they weren't willing to. So you're telling me what it looks like to me is Hugo Gonzalez and Walsh and these pieces they didn't want to give. They're more important than Jaylen Brown on this team, according to Brad Stevens and company over there, right? I mean, that's what the message is. So we don't want to give up our ancillary pieces here. These young guys.
Those young guys, Chris, salary-wise, help them stay under the apron.
So, and there's the magic words again. Because everyone keep hearing this. You heard Windhorst mention
And I also think, Chris, just quickly, that no one is saying this. I think Giannis's camp used us as a bargaining chip, or Milwaukee used us as a bargaining chip to get the price up in Miami, because I think Giannis always wanted to go to South Beach. I mean, he basically said that originally. Then all of a sudden, no, I'll go to Boston too. I think they kind of used Boston a little bit to suck in Miami to get more out of Miami. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So maybe, but
it's definitely money with the Celtics. Those guys, Chris, help you stay under the apron.
You've heard every analyst so far and all their, discussions. They're always mentioning the money, the extension, the possible $140 million that he could be due, right? That extra 2 years, which, by the way, if I'm the Celtics, I wouldn't do that anyway, even if you keep him right now. He's got 3 years left on this deal, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're going to extend him you're going to give him another $150 million, $140 million over the 2 years for what at this point? But the whole thing, we get comments in here.
Yeah, we got a bunch of comments coming in from
I can't even read that.
So he says, make some disparaging comments about Tatum. He's not a fan of Tatum.
But yeah,
we can't read those out. Listen, we'd love to answer you. We can't read those out.
He's basically saying he's a Quaker pilgrim.
But,
he doesn't settle. He doesn't settle. He's saying he doesn't settle.
Giannis is that he's a depreciating asset.
He thinks Giannis is a depreciating asset.
I agree. Listen, I that's the part of that I agree with.
Yeah.
Because I like I said last week when we talked 2 weeks ago when we talked about this, I was not in the camp of doing this deal because I think not because I don't think Giannis is a better player than Brown and all that, just because I think Giannis is one step away from an Achilles, from a major injury. That's what I believe. But if they did the deal, you could see it, you could understand it. You know what I mean, Mark? So.
Yeah. Well, our comments believe Brown's better than JT.
Well, we talked about that this season, if you remember back. We talked all season long about, hey, you know what, with how Brown was doing, maybe Tatum's the guy that should go.
Chris, Brown's camp claims they're not asking to be traded. They're happy here. They want to stay here. But you don't think, do you really believe that? You don't think they told them in the background, if we're not going to be the number one here, then, if you can move us. You don't think that conversation happened on the back, on the bat phone between his people and Brad Stevens?
I think I've been saying this all season, so I'm not going to back off it now. Okay. You
might have been the first one to say it, Chris.
Yeah, I'm not going to play that again. I'm not going to play that clip again.
But you were probably the first person to say it, honestly. So, they give you credit.
No, yeah. I mean, listen, because he's been telling us all year long.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think he did want out. I think he did. I just think he's passively aggressively doing it. Oh, look at all the things he did all year long. I mean, he made it a point to go all season long talking about putting up stats from last season to this season, where they were, and they really didn't skip a beat kind of thing. Talking about this is my favorite season.
Yeah, you got
after they
knocked
get
out.
Bounced.
Yeah, you got knocked out in the first round of the playoffs. This was my favorite season.
That was
what
a
the hell
horse's
kind
ass
of comment is that?
Oh, that was ridiculous. And so, I've been thinking he's been wanting his own team for the whole season. I mean, these are all shots at Tatum. And by the way, Mark, I was going to bring this up after, but I'll bring it up now. I'll wait till the second half of this segment to talk about that. But okay. So now we talk about the reasons.
We also got a comment that Brown is more competitive than Tatum. He competes and has more intensity.
I agree with that. Look, we've talked about the Tatum's that's not that alpha guy. He just has never been that. Never been that intense guy, the rah-rah guy, get up in your face. That's a Brown thing. Brown was like that. Not Tatum's not that guy, which makes you worry a little bit. Tatum, if Brown leaves his team, who steps into that role? With a lot of young guys. And depending on the trade deal that's coming, because I think it's coming. Well, we'll talk about that now. So, okay. The Giannis deals, that's over now.
Giannis was it. Forget that. Now it's over. It didn't happen. It's over. Whatever. And we both talked about whether we thought it was a good deal, not a good deal. Why? Okay, that's over.
So do they still want to trade him? This is now the question. Do they still want to move him? Do they still want to move him? We heard from Jeff Goodman. It was NBA Insider. This is what he had to say.
Not after hearing Brad Stevens in the final wrap-up press conference of the season. I mean, you could read the tea leaves there. He was clear. He was crystal clear that this team wasn't good enough and there were going to be major changes. And really, major changes are only going to involve two players, right? I mean, everybody else is kind of a piece at this point. It's Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and they're not moving Jason Tatum. I mean, they're just not. They know he's their core. He's their superstar. Jaylen Brown had an incredible year. But I think ultimately they feel like they had to make a move. The only reason I'll say that is because it looks again like, and I know it's a smaller sample with Tatum missing all year, but it looked again like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum picked up where they were 4 or 5 years ago in terms of kind of not looking like they've ever played basketball together again. And they started to figure that out in the championship season. I think they lost that a little bit.
So that's Goodman talking about that, they're still wanting to move him, basically. And I think he's talking about, he's talking about the basketball portion of this thing. And there is an argument to be made, Mark, for that, saying, hey, look, okay, how long they've been playing together for 10 years, 9 years, whatever it is. They got one ring. And you contend that they back their ass into that, that championship.
I will go to my grave saying that, yes.
They never had to play more than 5 games in a series that season. In any of the playoff series, right? They all went 4 or 5 games.
No, and on the Western side, the team that they probably couldn't beat got upset. The team they couldn't beat, if they made it, Celtics wouldn't have won a championship.
So is that just is everybody making too much? Like, is Steven sitting out there saying, "Look," everybody's saying, "Well, what's your plan B? You didn't get Giannis. What's plan B?" Well, okay, to me, plan B should be the two J's. And you just keep going. You keep going with that. You keep building around it and add ancillary pieces.
So, Chris,
around
how do you add ancillary pieces and build around that with those two guys if you're not willing to go to the second apron?
Well, so then it's a different issue. That's the money issue now. So, is it a basketball issue or is it a money issue?
I think it's a money issue with the new owner. I mean, of course, Brad Stevens isn't going to tell you that. He's going to tell you, Chris, his end of the year press conference, he immediately came out and said, we're not good enough. So what's he telling you? He's telling you the team's not good enough. The way we're currently constructed, he basically said we're not good enough. So how do you get better if you're not going to spend more money? So if you're not going to go to the next level like they did in the past, somebody has to go. Because if Brown and Tatum are on this team, Brown and Tatum are here together, you can't bring in the ancillary pieces you're talking about, stay under the apron and make, he's a new owner. He's not going to, he's trying to make a profit, at least at the beginning, maybe down the road, this guy will be willing to go into the apron because now he's made some cash. But right now, he's still trying to make money off this team. So you trade Jaylen Brown. Okay, you're not getting Giannis, but maybe you get 2 or 3 young pieces that 20, 25 million each instead of 75 million. Now you got 3 players instead of 1 for that money. And maybe you get a couple of draft picks for the future, whatever. Like, you know, and now you got those ancillary pieces you're talking about. You got some draft capital, maybe.
But you don't have Brown.
Well,
You're going to lose the deal. Whatever deal you make now.
No, you're going to lose the deal. You're
gonna
absolutely going to lose the deal.
And this is what I don't understand about this. But I want to go to break. And when I come back, we got a heated hotline. We have one of our favorite heated hotlines.
And when we come back, Chris, another comment is saying that we're devaluing. They think it's devaluing Brown.
Yeah.
Who proved himself every bit as Tatum's equal this year.
I agree, and I agree, and we're going to talk about that more. But let's. This portion of B's and C's was presented by Corso Law Group, CorsoLawGroup.com. We come back, going to continue with this discussion, hear from one of you in the nation, and more. There are comments. Stick around.
No one ever thinks they will be in need of a criminal or traffic lawyer, but things happen. Corso Law Group is Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. Their 20-plus years experience and attention to detail has helped thousands of people who found themselves in a situation in Arizona. Whether it's a traffic ticket or more serious issue, talk with these expert attorneys. CorsoLawGroup.com.
Back in with more Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. Yeah, Mark, we're seeing it in the comments, and I'm asking the same damn question. But let's get to the heated hotline and read that. We don't need to watch Joe, but this is are you kidding me? Is this who this is from? I can't read this.
Who is it from?
You want to read it, Joe?
We got a heated hotline from this one's a text in. On the heated hotline. Hi, guys. It's Paul from Providence.
Oh!
Yes, I'm back. And so aren't my Giants with Coach Harbaugh.
Screw the Giants and Harbaugh. They suck. Good.
And he goes on. My Knicks finally did it. I love New York. Could you explain something to me as a non-Celtics fan? Jaylen Brown is at least a top 15 player and a bona fide top 10 player this year. Why would the Celtics want to trade him? They won a championship with him and Tatum. Brown outplayed Tatum in that series. Is this organization clueless? Who do they think they are going to get better? I don't care about Missoula, the one coach of the year. Maybe they should change their style of basketball instead.
Yeah. Read the rest of this. See you guys in football season. Screw the Patriots, he says. Okay.
No!
I figured
That's it. Shut him off. Joe, shut him. No more from him. Shut him off. Screw the Patriots. Hey,
listen,
Paul, screw you, Paul.
Yeah, screw you, Paul. Listen, far be it, though, for me to
comment. Tony E. Shifter, he agrees with Paul.
He does. And I hate doing it. I can't agree with Paul. Tony, I'll agree with you. I don't know. Tone, is it Tone? Am I saying it wrong? Tony. Tony, we're going to call you Tony. That's all. So, listen, I agree with these guys, Mark. I'm scratching my head all friggin' week, and I'm trying to understand. Okay, you can sell me on the Giannis thing. I get that part because you can argue Giannis is a better player. Maybe not at this stage. He's 2 years old, whatever. Okay. But now, you're going to lose any deal that you make now. You're not going to get back equal value. You're not going to get an all-star. I mean, okay, talking about Duran from Detroit, maybe Mobley. Duran's an all-star. Okay, but still not at the same. Still not top 5, top 10. And you could sell to me that Brown's not a top 5 guy. I get that. He may be not even top 10, but he's certainly a top 15 guy. Jaylen Brown in the league.
Yeah. Yep.
So if you're not going to win the deal, and you're not going to get equal value to win now, if you package it and get tons of friggin' picks, that means you're killing Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum's prime. So because by the time you use those picks and get better, Jason Tatum's prime is over.
Yeah.
What's the point? I don't understand it then. Why are they doing this?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, Tony wants to know. Paul wants. Everybody out there wants to know. Why is this happening? Is it a straight money thing? Your argument about the aprons and just getting all ancillary pieces that are good players, but not supermax players that you don't have two of those guys? Is it becoming the NFL now where you just can't?
Not
You know
only
what I
that,
mean?
not only that, if you don't get rid of him now, we not only not get somebody else back better or useful, we get potentially Jaylen Brown, but a soured Jaylen Brown potentially. Like a Min Ramirez. Was it Ramirez when they tried to sell him and trade
Well, they've
him?
done
and
this to
then
Brown
come back
before.
Right.
They've done this to Brown, Mark. This has been going on with Brown for the last several years. This was, but at least it was him rumored with Kevin Durant, Giannis. You can come back from that. But Brad Stevens has not knocked this down. It's not like when the Giannis deal fell through, he came out and said, we're not trading Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown's off the table. We're going to go with our two guys. Mark, why?
Well, no, he chose his words the night of the draft very carefully in what this team will look like moving forward. I don't know what, and I know NBA owners are now trying to get away from that. Hey, the big three or the super teams that teams are putting together because they're trying to, with the apron and the money, and these teams are trying to, manage their money differently. I mean, the Knicks are a perfect example. They've managed their money perfectly. Jalen Brunson took a little bit of a team-friendly deal.
And of the 30% of the cap, whereas
so they
these
could
two guys
they
are
could
70.
stay under the apron and win a championship, right? That's not going to happen in Boston because Brown's already under the contract with Tatum at supermax deals. Now, Chris, is it this? You got 3 years left of Brown. Maybe they don't want to extend him. They're probably like, we're not giving him the extension. He's eligible. We're not going to give it to him at that age, and he ain't going to be worth that kind of money. So maybe they figured this is maybe our last window to get rid of him. Because if you don't,
he's never going to be more valuable than he is now.
Yes. So, and Tone is saying that it's negligent on Brad's part. Like, you knew if Brown took control of this team in Tatum's absence, what did you think was going to happen with Brown? And you,
we saw this
saying
coming.
all year.
Yeah, we saw this coming. I said I said it in March or February, March.
My prediction would be
Boston.
He's going to get moved. We're going to lose the deal. In your words, we're going to lose the deal. We're going to get some younger players who have potential to be better, and you're going to get some picks. And I think they're going to move on from him, Chris, because I think he thinks they need a lot. They need multiple pieces on this team, Chris. It's not just ancillary. I think Brad Stevens took a look at this team and said 4 through 10, we stink. I think that's what he did.
So fix 4 through 10.
Well, how? What do you got to fix 4 through 10 with? How do you get, how? What do you want to do?
They did it 2 years ago. I mean, they got Porzingis. They brought Holiday in.
And you were almost at the third apron. They're not going to do that.
Yeah. So then it's a
Chris,
money
money
thing.
is driving this. Let's not fool ourselves here. Money is driving this, right? These are, John Henry, all these guys. This is the new thing now, Chris. This guy's a brand new owner.
Okay, so is there an argument to be made? And I'm with you. I think it's a money thing too. I think Brad Stevens is
and then they
the
brought up
mouthpiece.
trading Derek White, but even Tone mentions it. Who wants Derek White? You want to talk about a depreciated and depressed asset? Nobody wants him. He looked 100 in the playoffs.
Is it an issue with Derek White that he's depreciated? He's older. I get it. But is it the issue that they just wanted him to fit into a slot he can't do? They wanted him to be the number 2 guy on that team. They wanted him to fit into the Jaylen Brown role. When in reality, when they won the championship, he was 3 off, even 4 on that team.
No. But I'm talking about when Tatum and Brown, when Tatum came back in in the playoff series against Philly, Chris, he looked like he was in quicksand.
Yeah.
Really?
So I
guys
guess
were blowing by him. He looked like he was in quicksand.
I guess to play devil's advocate, I guess you could make the basketball argument. If you want to make the basketball argument and say if they're going to hide, because they're hiding behind that, and because he's right. I mean, the Paul was right that wrote in, and so Tone's talking about this somewhat. when Brad Stevens, and we heard Goodman say this, and Windhorst, they all said it because we heard it. Like you said, Brad Stevens basically said, we're not good enough.
No.
Now, is he saying we're not good enough because they need to get under some apron and they need to save more money and it's just an excuse to move them? Or is he looking at the last 10 years like we've been looking at it, saying, okay, they should have won more? And they say, like, look at what they've accomplished. Chris Mannix has been saying, what's wrong with you people? The Celtics have been extremely competitive. They've been extremely successful with these two guys because they've been in the hunt every single year. They've been in the conversation every single year, but they haven't gotten over the hump every single year. So
they got over the hump once, Chris, and they got over the hump because somebody took Denver out in the West.
So is Brad Stevens sitting there saying, look,
You'd
people,
be sitting here with no rings.
Yeah. And you people out there, let me know what you think of this. Is Brad Stevens sitting out there saying, look, people, I understand Jaylen Brown, was a top 6 MVP candidate this past season. Got it. Okay. But these two guys, these two wings playing wings, okay, together have amounted to one banner. That's not enough. That's not good enough for the amount of money we're paying out or whatever. This isn't good enough. So what are we just going to keep running in place? Are we going to keep running these two guys back till they're both done?
Yeah.
And see what we can get, see if we can win something, or do we need to switch things? Or is he saying we need a big man? We got a problem inside because even with Jaylen, even if Tatum plays in that, plays in Game 7 and they win that Sixers series, we both agree they're not getting by New York because of what went on inside.
They weren't getting by
Kada, Garza, Vucevic. They weren't getting by Towns and Robinson.
Nope.
Let me ask you this, because one of our write-ins brings up a point that I think might be part of it. Ryman says Celtics should get rid of Mazzulla and keep Brown.
Yeah.
Now
Tony's
let me
saying
ask
that
you
too.
this: let me ask you this: is it because potentially Missoula is a situation where Brown and Tatum can actually play together if they had a different coach?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. So that's
question?
the other factor in this, Mark, that we talked about, because you and I and a lot of other people are so disgusted with the way that Barkley, all these experts, what do we know? We're stupid. We know nothing. But you're talking about basketball Hall of Famers that are sitting there going, they just play. Everybody just criticized San Antonio. That's the dumbest basketball they've ever seen. And that's exactly how the Celtics play.
We play that way every night.
With a million threes, play on the perimeter, and then when Tatum decides he wants to carry the ball, okay, so if Brown's off this team, picture this. Picture Tatum carrying the ball up across the timeline, slow, 25 dribbles into the ground. The pickup points are at the half court. You get into your first action with friggin' 6 seconds left on the shot clock.
Well, the argument there would be, Chris, if you bring in like a few young guys that are, got some size, that they'd be bringing the ball up, not they'd be doing, the team would be constructed a little different.
See, the good thing about Giannis, Mark, was it was going to force you to play different.
Yes, it would have forced you to play different. Absolutely. Yep.
But I agree. The play style. See, to me, I think you keep both of these guys and change you're right, Joe, and everyone else out there. Change the damn coach. Change if you're not going to change the coach, change the system.
That's not happening. They're not going to change.
Do you think that Brad Stevens has taken too much of a step? He's showing Mazzulla too much respect, having been a former coach himself, and letting him have the reins too much, and not stepping in more and saying, "Look, we got to play different."
Yeah.
Or do you think Stevens signs off on this crap that we see?
Tough to say, Chris. I think Stevens has to sign off on it, or it wouldn't still be happening. So to answer that question, yeah, he has to. He has to kind of give it his blessing. Otherwise he would say, listen, maybe this is the summer, Chris. Maybe we're looking at this the wrong way. Maybe Stevens said to him, listen, I'm trading Jaylen Brown, and I'm going to bring in pieces because you're not going to play the same style. I'm going to bring in guys that can slash, get to the rim. I'm going to bring in some young athletic guys. We're not playing your style anymore.
Well,
Could that be it?
Well, if they do the trade with Detroit and they bring in Jalen Duren, the center, which, by the way, between he and Mobley, I'd rather have him.
Yep.
Okay. If they bring that guy in, that's what they're saying. They're basically saying, yeah, we can't play the way we play anymore. We just can't.
Yeah.
We're not going to throw up 43s a game, 42 threes, 49 3, whatever the stupidity, stupid numbers. We just can't do that anymore. We're going to play inside. If the Knicks showed you nothing, they showed you that.
Yes.
In the playoffs. OKC, they showed you that.
Yeah.
If San Antonio showed you nothing, they showed you that.
Chris, when Embiid came back on the floor for Philadelphia, they showed you that.
Right. So maybe we're just making too much of this. Maybe we're stripping this all down to something that it isn't. And maybe it's simply put, Stevens is looking at their play style, is looking at their personnel for their play style and saying, I got two of the same kind of guys. I'm not going to, what are we doing here? And the money is on top of it. But Mark,
money's on top of it. Maybe we're not giving Stevens enough credit, Chris. Maybe he knows what he's doing and he knows how he wants to construct this team to change the style of the team. And to do that, he's got two of the same type of play. He's going to have to get rid of one of them. It's not going to be Tatum. It's going to be Brown.
Well, whatever they do, it's going to come off immediately like they're going to lose this deal. It's going to be a loss ultimately, immediately is what I mean. Yeah. Because you're never going to get equal value back. Chris Mannix talked about the interest, and I want to talk about this before we go to break and get the Catone's comments. Is there interest in Jaylen Brown out there? Is there really interest?
The charts. I mean, Jaylen Brown is an elite player, a two-way wing, and even though it's a big contract, it's a manageable contract for a player of his caliber. He's just now in the prime years of his career. He continues to get better. The work he did last offseason to get himself ready for this type of role with this team this season was nothing short of remarkable. So you're getting a winner. You're getting an elite two-way player. The interest in Jaylen Brown is going to be incredibly robust over the next few weeks and months.
Mark, I'm not seeing that. I'm not. That's Chris Mannix. I'm not seeing the robust interest in Jay. Am I missing something?
If there was robust interest, wouldn't he have moved away from Giannis on draft night and made a different deal?
Yeah. And you heard Gary Washburn this week talk about that very point. Say it doesn't make any sense. If a deal was going to get done, you were going to get it done before the draft, so you could take advantage of a first-round pick in that draft.
Yes, because next year's draft is trash.
So now what are you going to do?
So if you look at next year's draft, it kind of looks like trash.
Right.
So
I heard Mike Felger this week talking about the third team, and he gets too honed in on that. Well, they couldn't find the third team. They couldn't find the third team when this Giannis. Then I think he's missing the point when it comes to the third team because Milwaukee didn't need a third team.
No.
In other words, Giannis spoke for himself. He spoke for himself, meaning you could get a whole huge load just for Giannis straight up alone, which is what they did.
Which is what they did.
You didn't really need a third team to get more picks. You had enough of them. They got like 4 first-round picks, 4 potential lottery picks for them. So I don't know if I agree with that, but yeah, this robust, it's robust is the word he's using. Yeah, I don't see that, and I think it's because of the contract and because he's got that potential for 2-year extension at $70 million per, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So then, okay, to finish this, then, how do you see this? And then over the next few days, month, whatever, how does this end up?
I think he's going to get traded, Chris. I don't think he can come back here. I don't think. I think he's going to get traded for maybe some young guys, and I don't think he's going to get traded for Duran from Detroit. That deal's not a good deal. Mobley, they might have interest in Mobley, but I don't think.
Well, Mark, the Duran deals are better than a lot of other things I've heard about players getting back. If you want to take advantage of Tatum's prime,
yeah. I think, Chris, I'm telling you right now, when the deal's made, you will scratch your head. But I think you're going to see 2 or 3 guys you may not necessarily say, who are those guys? Probably guys with a lot of potential that are young, athletic, maybe a couple of picks with them. I think that's going to end up being the deal.
Well, I do hope if they're going to move him, I hope it is the Duran deal because he's 24 years old, 23, 24 years old. He's a young guy. He's an all-star. He could be a perennial all-star big man. But I listen, I'm running it back. If it's me, I'm running it back, and I'm doing the 2024.
Can you beat the Knicks by running it back?
Well, if you add, you got to still add pieces. You have to, and you got to pay. That's what this means. So
Well,
now it comes
and
down to the money.
now there's back to our original thought of okay, but now you gotta pay and go into a different apron, which that's not happening. But before you move on, because I know we're gonna move on to the next segment, I just gotta say this: you played Jeff Goodman.
Yeah.
Not a fan of Jeff Goodman. When Ed Cooley left Providence, he was getting a
That's why I
rash of
played it,
shit.
because I knew this was coming.
He got a rash of shit, Cooley. And Goodman said, well, you can't blame Cooley. He's leaving for a better job. It's a better position. It's a better opportunity for him to get where he wants to go. How did that work out for Ed, Jeff? Because now Goodman's saying, no, Providence is the better job. They got all these resources, assets. They got a state-of-the-art facility with Hodson. They're going to do this and that. And you know what? PC is a better job than Georgetown.
Well,
really? Now PC is a better job than Georgetown, Jeff. Really? So I got to bone the pick with Jeff Goodman.
No more Goodman on the show anymore. So we'll see what happens with Brown with Brown and the trade. And Tone, we appreciate the comments. Everybody else that's commenting in, we appreciate that. We're scratching our heads just like you are. But they're going to lose this deal. Whatever they do, they're going to lose this deal. But
Jeff, go watch The Real Housewives of Rhode Island. You'll see why Ed Cooley went to Georgetown. It wasn't because it was a better job. I'm not even going to say anything. Just go watch The Real Housewives of Rhode Island.
B's and C's was presented by Corso Law Group, Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. CorsoLawGroup.com. Allow us to be your voice. Hey, listen, he's in full voice. I think he's ready to go. Catone's comments is next. No flipping.
No one ever thinks they'll be in need of a criminal or traffic lawyer, but things happen. Whether it's a traffic ticket or more serious issue, go to CorsoLawGroup.com and talk with these expert attorneys.
Time for Catone's
So this week, last week, actually 2 weeks ago, we were off last week. We had a little break. But the week before, we had a show, and the title of it was basically, Giannis traded to the Celtics. And then we were being facetious, obviously, right? I mean, obviously, everybody knew that Giannis was not traded to the Celtics. Oh, yeah. I mean, if you were living in 2026 and living in reality, people, you knew Giannis was not traded to the Celtics, okay? Listen, and we had a bunch of comments because of that title, right? They were calling it clickbait and all this stuff. Listen, guys, listen.
Doesn't mean shit.
Take it down. We love that you're engaged and you're on YouTube and you're watching the show and you're listening to the show and you're making comments. We love it. Keep the comments coming. We
trash. They called
comments.
us trash, Mark. Trash.
Yeah, somebody called us trash.
Yeah,
I
Also, Catone is trash. I mean, I know that. I know that, but how do they know that?
Listen, call me whatever you want. As long as you're watching the show, you can call me whatever the hell you want. I don't care what the hell you call me. Right. But listen.
Clickbait, they said. What the hell does that even mean?
You never watched that clickbait more show on Netflix. Listen. Anyways. So, listen. The focus of this show has always been back to when we started this several years ago. The focus of Corso and Catone and the Pats Nation is the fact that we pride ourselves on being the real deal, New England feel. We're fans too, right? Chris and I are swearing, yelling, watching a Patriot game, watching a Celtics game. We're not like these mouthpieces for the teams that come up here and just spit out what the organization. We're fans. We get upset, we yell, we scream, but we also have a bit of knowledge and a bit of variety in what we can get up and talk about. Where like, in other words, I would challenge any of those shows that you listen to on radio stations, to have the broad set of knowledge that we have, not just about, he knows a lot about baseball. Oh, he knows a lot about he knows what he's talking about when it comes to football. No. We have football, basketball, baseball, college basketball, You want to talk about horse racing? I'll talk about horse racing. You know what I mean? The horse that won the Belmont Stakes up at Saratoga. Do you want to know why the horse won? Because the jockey saved ground. He went from the outside to the rail, going around the far turn, saved ground, and turning for home. The horse, Ortiz, the jockey, kicks the horse back to the outside, and that's why he won the Belmont Stakes, because he was able to save ground at the half-mile pole. Can these people talk about that? That they understand a horse race and how you win a horse race? And
By the way, thanks
they
for
understand
keeping
that.
Thanks for keeping that a secret from me. That horse. Thanks, appreciate that.
Well, but my point is, guys, listen. We love the comments, but that wasn't clickbait. It was just we were having fun. We have fun. We're fans, right? We're not these professionals doing this. We got jobs. It was funny. Hey, Giannis traded to the Celtics, right? Like that's all it was. It was in fun, in jest. It wasn't to trick anybody to watch the show. We love that you people don't watch the show. We love it. But guess what? We have knowledge of so many things that a lot of these other shows don't have. Can't just talk about one thing. You know what I mean? Somebody want to come up and talk about horse racing with us? I'll talk about horse racing. I know as much about horse racing as anybody in the country. I'll talk about it with you. What I want to talk about. Like I said, you want to talk about how they won the Belmont Stakes? That's how the horse won the Belmont Stakes. Julio Ortiz, the jockey, ran a great race. I'll talk about that with you. It's great. You know, it's great. Chris, we start talking about football. Chris will break down want him to break down an offense for you or a defense? Jesus Christ. He ain't just talking about, that was a bad play. He'll tell you why it was a bad play. It may agonize him, but he'll tell you why it was a bad play. You know. So when we talk about, the things we talk about on the show, it's because we're just like you. We love sports like you do. We're fans. We're fans just like you. So keep watching the show. Just remember, it's fun. It's in jest. The stuff we say, it's entertainment too. We're entertaining. If you think that this is not how I am every day, you got to go talk to my wife. This is who I am. This is me. This is every day, every minute of every day. This is who I am. It's not, it's not a different persona. This is it.
It sounds like we might lose him any minute too. Though.
You might, but no.
Yeah.
I just want I think sometimes people take these sports shows too serious, Chris. I just wanted to address I'm glad the guy made the comments. I hope he calls me another idiot today, and you're a jerk. I hope he says it. I love when people make those comments because I am a jerk. But
not only that, Mark,
fun,
I gotta jump in. We also, as fans, have hopes and dreams. Hoping that the Celtics do the right thing and trade for him.
Absolutely,
they didn't.
Absolutely, we do.
But
I'm going to say this: that wasn't mine. I didn't choose that heading for that show, though. I'll say that.
No, I take full credit.
Yes, this was a. Oh, by the way, the coughing and the spitting and the drooling on himself—that's normal. That's all
normal, Chris. Tell him that's normal, please.
That's it. I mean, this is how he talks, no matter what.
The doctor says, "What are you going to do?"
This is how it was explained to me. This was an artistic choice, an artistic decision from above my pay grade.
Yep.
Okay. It was the prayer, the Giannis prayer like this. Was the question mark. I said, well, you got to put a question mark at the end of that because we don't know if that's going to happen or not. No. He says, Joe said the Giannis making the motion like he's praying is the question mark. Like it hasn't happened yet, and I'm hopeful that it's going to happen. This was his.
Chris, that's these Hollywood guys.
Yeah.
We got these Hollywood guys,
But no, Mark brought up the point though, the fact that that. He may have been doing. Milwaukee actually may have been doing that type of clickbait for him in the trade scenario. And I didn't think of it that way. I didn't think of it that way personally. No, but the prayer was him praying to come to the Celtics and us praying for him to be here. That's what it is.
Yeah, Mark's nice. He's saying he's nice. He's a nice with all this. Screw you.
What?
Listen, I don't give a shit. If one person's listening or 1 million people are listening, we're gonna give you the same thing every single time because you know what?
Listen, I don't share those views. I want 1 million listeners. Listen, I don't share his views. I do.
Well, of
not
course
share
I do
his
too.
views.
But you know what? You know what's funny? We don't want the million listeners just because we want to earn off it.
No.
Or anything. We just want you to listen. That's all. We don't really care. I don't know anything about this stuff. I don't know anything about algorithms and friggin' clickbait. It's clickbait. It's clickbait. You're trash. You losers. Oh, what do you mean clickbait? You mean the 5 seconds that you took you to go click to an image, and then be like, "Nah, I'm not interested. I want to go away now from it." This is offensive to people. You know why? Get out of your basements. Get out of your goddamn basements and go on a walk. Get in the sun. Go do something with yourself. Will you please? You're sitting there. Clickbait. I got pissed off about the clickbait. Oh my God. I didn't even know what that meant. I had to call Mark and say, "Mark, we're being called trash because he said clickbait. What the hell does that even mean?" He's like, "Think about it." He's like, you're putting something out there to get people to entice people to click. I said, "Well, okay. So like a commercial? Is that clickbait too? I guess. Don't squeeze the shot."
I
clickbait.
told you before the show started, Joe. In the intro, he was a little aggressive in the intro. I told you, Joe. Listen, I'm very calm. Listen, Mike Otone's comments, I was very calm, cool, collected. I didn't get excited. I didn't get nervous. Nothing. I was good today. Very good.
Yeah, well, you know what? I don't really give a shit. Okay. How's that? Who loves you, baby? That's right. There it is.
I just found that one again. I had to replay that one, get that one moving again.
So I'm glad, Mark, that you addressed that. That was a pretty funny.
Joe, I heard that, I just heard that.
Ah, there you go. See?
How's that possible?
Well, there it is. See? You can hear
Who
things,
loves your
too.
baby? Kojak, who loves your baby?
He can hear, he can see. So
Kojak, I watch old this cuckoo clock clicks on some free app. He goes in and he clicks all these Kojak shows for me to watch. So I go in and watch these Kojak. I watch Kojak at night. My wife thinks I'm nuts.
So, I was about to say, we're sorry about, no, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry at all. I'm not sorry. Wait do you see this? Wait do you see the title next week? Oh, so good stuff, Mark. Screw everybody, Catone's comments was presented by Corso Law Group, corsolawgroup.com. Hey, we come back, a little clip that, few different topics, quick hitters. Stick around.
No one ever thinks they will be in need of a criminal or traffic lawyer, but things happen. Corso Law Group is Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. Their 20-plus years experience and attention to detail has helped thousands of people who found themselves in a situation in Arizona. Whether it's a traffic ticket or more serious issue, talk with these expert attorneys. CorsoLawGroup.com.
Back in with more Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. All right, guys, let's get into a few little smaller topics we want to talk about. We're not going to do a Yankees Red Sox this week, but I do want to talk a little bit about the Red Sox, Mark.
Chapman on to protect a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the ninth inning. He's going to get the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Line drive, base hit past the diving Durbin. 5 consecutive hits for Colorado going back to the 8th inning. Foul ball through the hole.
That's 6 hit.
6 in a row. Sean drops it down. Durbin will collect it. And fire on safe there. The corners were aware, but Monasterio wasn't.
Love the background music for this.
I didn't do that. Thank you for mentioning. Now we're going to get
Goodman comes around. He ties it and gets away. Here comes the next run. Carrick is coming home. He dives, and the ball game is over. The Rockies stun the Red Sox in the ninth inning with 4 consecutive hits in this inning and 8 straight hits.
So that was the broadcast call of the Red Sox Rockies game earlier in the week. We'll talk about what went on the last 2 nights, Mark, in a second.
Do we got to really talk about it?
Kind of, because it kind of defeats the whole thing. We're talking about how shit Red Sox are. They're still shit. Listen, Mark, this team, the driveline guys quit for the Red Sox.
Well, did they quit or did they get rid of him?
I think they quit. I mean, the story was okay. So the Red Sox have employed these driveline company, whatever that guy was,
analytic guys, right?
Guys to teach these kids how to launch the ball, launch angles, right, Mark? Explain all that.
Yeah. So the launch angle. So they don't want ground balls, line drives. They want you to get the ball up in the air and lift the ball, and based on launch angles, the percentage of times that you could just pi times squared times this, and you're gonna score this many runs a game and have this many home runs a game and this many home runs a month. Some kind of crazy formula they came up with on if you can get the launch angle to lift the ball up in the air. Things like that.
Because you gotta because they think baseball is being played with a number 2 pencil and a compass. So so anyway, this team, you talk about frauds.
Wow.
This is one of the most fraudulent teams I've seen in my lifetime, Mark. This is worse than the Bobby Valentine Red Sox.
Oh, now let me tell you.
This is worse. This is worse. It's worse because they're not interesting.
Do you know they're only 5 games out of the wild card?
Okay, see, this is the other thing.
This is what John Henry. So John Henry figures, we make a little move at the trade deadline. Crochet comes back. Maybe we're competitive in September for a wild card, even though we're never going to make it. It keeps the place busy. It filled, sold out, Chris.
It is falsetto, Cam. It is. Listen, this is why
you got to reintroduce who the hell is saying that now.
Yeah.
That was Cam football Newton. Season.
That was Cam Newton talking falsetto. Yeah, or you can have Rabel saying this. It doesn't mean shit. Listen, yes, I guess if you keep adding playoff spots to the postseason,
right,
then it really doesn't make a difference. You're right.
No,
I mean, just anybody makes it, which makes the whole wild card. It waters everything down. I am not one of these people that's. I am all for making the playoffs. Take what they give you. Got it.
It's all about money. They started with one wild card team. I want to give one extra team a shot. And then all of a sudden, now you got this system because it's all about money. The more teams that make it, it's revenue.
Mark, why? Everything this team does is wrong. Every button this team pushes is wrong. And why is Breslow? So why? This is what Mark Beetle Bertrand of 98.5. This is what I think he was on NBC Sports Boston when he said this, though. This is what he talked about with Breslow. Like, why is Breslow still here?
I cannot deal at this deadline. They've got assets that they can move. They need someone who's capable of maximizing those assets, getting the best return, getting back players that are going to help the Boston Red Sox, whether it is next season or 5 seasons from now. I don't even care at this point. They just need to come back to reality. I don't know what planet Craig Breslow is living on where he would need to watch the next 4 games to know that this season is over and it is time to wave the white flag. It's over. All of us with a functioning brain know that it's over. This guy is allegedly brilliant. If he was brilliant, he would know they are dead in the water. They are up the creek. No paddle. Dead. Over. Make the moves.
So that was Bertrand talking about. I love that clip. So you can't let this guy sell for you if you're going to get rid of him.
Wait a minute, though. But wait a minute. But what Bertrand does say in that clip is, don't matter what happens in the next 4 games. If they sweep the New York Yankees, they're going to sell that to the fans like you can't imagine.
Does that save Breslow?
Probably. Listen, the Yankees are you're not beating anybody. They got no Judge. They got no Stanton. Grisham's not playing. The Yankees, Fried's out. Like the Yankees are, you got a chunk of guys who took them to the playoffs and to the World Series who aren't playing. So, yeah, I get the Yankees in first place in a shit division. That division was supposed to be a lot better. That's a shit division this year. The whole American League is trash. So,
Mark, when you have a quote like this, because I will say this, the only bright spot to this Red Sox team is the pitching staff. They have good pitchers. Totally pitched great last night. They got good young pitching too, Chris.
These guys are young. They're young.
When you hear a quote like this, if someone came to me from the Red Sox and made a decision that that's the direction that this team was going to go, I would be open for a conversation. Whatever happens from then, only time will tell, but I would be open for a conversation. This is Sonny Gray on talking about waiving his no-trade clause. Mark, when you have a player...
So Sonny Gray wants to get out. He's basically telling you, I want to leave.
I want to leave. When do you see this? In June?
And Chris, he's probably been their most consistent best pitcher all year, and he's ready to get out of there. He must think it's a clown show.
So listen,
it's a clown show.
Stay tuned. But if they allow Breslow to make the moves to trade assets, and because they're in a point of selling now, I would imagine
they should be.
They let Breslow do that, then go ahead and fire him at the end of the season. Well, why would you do that? Go get someone who knows what the hell they're doing right now. Listen, Henry, if you really want to be the Milwaukee Brewers, and you want to be the Tampa Rays, and you want to be these teams that play small.
But the Brewers, Chris, are going to win their division.
Right, but they don't spend any money.
No, they don't. They don't.
So if you want to be these teams, for Christ almighty, go get somebody from those organizations that understands how to do it that way. And then the fans will shut the hell up because you're winning a little bit. Yeah. Like the fans in Boston won't care what the guy's making if you're winning. They don't care.
They don't care.
So anyway, I want to talk about that, and then I want to get to Diana Rossini. Did you see
Morosini?
Come on, Chris.
Holy crap.
I thought we were done with that.
Yeah.
Love boat. Okay. All right, Mark. So the story this week out of the New York Times and The Athletic, it was one of Miss Rossini's close friends told the Times that she never observed anything that would indicate that the relationship between Miss Rossini and Mr. Vrabel was different from the friendships some male insiders have with players, coaches, agents, team executives, and display on social media. Still, the friend said that Miss Rossini and Mr. Vrabel supported each other in their careers, and that after Vrabel was fired, Rossini served as an unofficial advisor this must have been when they were on the boat, as he positioned himself for another top job. In 2025, he became the Patriots head coach. Mr. Rossini, hang on, did not alert editors to any conflicts of interest, according to the Times. Company spokesperson, Ms. Rossini and Mr. Vrabel should know better, said Robert Lipsight, a former longtime Times sports writer and ESPN. They were operating flagrantly, and the blatancy is shocking, Mark. This was the story this week.
Shocking.
So let me ask you a question.
Sure.
So Rossini has never made a comment, except at the very beginning, she basically shunned it off. Okay, fine.
I love the Love Boat theme, by the way.
Oh, I know you do. Listen, so.
Who loves you, baby?
So listen, who
love me sexy? What?
So Rossini really never says anything about this. Vrabel never says, yes, I had an affair with Diane Rossini and I'm ashamed and all he ever said was, I got to work through, I behaved, I got to work through some stuff with my family.
He sounds like every other guy that got caught. Yeah.
Right. But nowhere does anyone say, oh, they had a 4-year really. It wasn't a one-night stand where, they had a 4-year relationship. Like
well, those pictures came out in 2020 at the bar or 21 or whatever it was.
Yeah. So I think the Times comes out with this article, which, okay.
Well, she's taking the beating, not him.
She is taking the beating, which is a little funny because you think he's the one still in the public spotlight. You think they would focus on him. They're not. I think she must have got paid some money from somebody, Chris, right? To say, hey, here you go.
I'm not
sign
saying
a non-disclosure. You're not going to talk about this because she has never even come back out and said anything about it.
Yeah, I would have.
And I think Vrabel must have said his lawyers must have said to her, 2 months, this will be gone. Nobody will ever hear from it again. Just whatever. But, this time, and I thought that was the case until this Times article comes out. Like, I thought no one's talking about that anymore. It's over. It's done.
The only thing you take from this article is that look, I understand that her job is different than his job.
Yes.
Okay. She's in a different profession. So she's held to some sort of a standard for professional, for journalistic integrity, which I don't think any of them have anyway, but whatever.
No.
Journalistic integrity. I don't think anybody knows what the hell that means. Everybody's in bed together. I don't mean literally, but everybody's in bed together, figuratively. Like, those kinds of relationships are all over the leagues, all leagues. But I'm saying that, so I get that she's being held to that standard of impropriety that he's not, because he's a football coach. So there are people out there that are up in arms, are pissed off and saying, what about him? Why is he getting to just pretend this has never happened and move on? But she's got to lose the job. She's got to go through all this. And, that's all. I mean, that's the only thing that sparked for me what the interesting part of that story was, the lack of attention on Vrabel and so much attention.
And then I read something this week, Chris, that said, well, it's a female-male thing. If he was a male reporter, if she was a male reporter and had an affair with, say, a female coach or a female athlete,
or a male coach,
or a male coach, whatever, that it wouldn't they wouldn't a male reporter wouldn't get that kind of scrutiny.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either. That's what I said. I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
No, I don't think so. I think it would be equal. So it bears watching and seeing, and I'm interested to see what happens when we get to training camp. If this thing's just died, because it's pretty much dead at this point. And, is there anything that's going to come out that's like, the only thing that could come out that could spark this up again is if right before the Seattle game on that, that week of first week of football, if she decides to sit down with somebody and talk about this situation, then it'll spark it all again.
There it is, Mark. You heard it here first.
I think she was paid. I don't think you're going to ever hear from her. I think they paid her a
That's what I would've
non-disclosure.
done if
She's
I
not
were
going
her.
to talk about it, and that's it. Give me a few $1 million, and I'll go away.
Because she's got a lot of skills. She's got a lot of things that she could talk about for a lot of owners, a lot of teams, a lot of coaches, a lot of situations that she could spill if she wanted to. I
was just going to say, it's not just Mike Vrabel.
I'll bet. So, anyway, there's that. The other thing, Mark, what do you think of the World Cup, Joe?
Hey,
Love it.
Good. There's a lot of things to watch. You know what? This is a World Cup that you need to watch Messi. If you want to watch, if you're a guy like me, like you want to see history being made, like watching Michael Jordan in his prime, this is one of those prime moments to watch Messi. He's leading goal scorer. Watch the USA potentially win. They do have
There's
chance.
some real good players in this tournament. Mbappe from France.
Yeah.
But he's right. Messi at this stage of his career, he's going to be 40 years old, Chris. It's just like watching a legend. You don't see many of these guys.
Well, you know what's sad?
Right?
What's sad about that is Major League Soccer. Come on, do better at putting your product in front of people. Don't put it behind a paywall. Don't put it behind an Apple paywall where you can't see Messi for free.
Yeah. And Chris, you know what? Quickly before we move on, the Scottish team was located. They were in New England, right? So they had like 5,000 of them in Providence, right? So every place
they drank Boston dry.
That's what I was just gonna say. Everywhere they go, they bring like this army of people. The bars are running out of beer.
It's great.
They kick you out. They went to the Sam Adams Brewery, where they sell the beer in Boston. Drink them out of everything. They had nothing left.
Listen, that's the takeaway. Because I'm not a soccer guy. The takeaway I have from this whole thing, honestly, is
Bob Kraft wants to go play a football game in Scotland.
Right. Yeah. Now that's great. Thanks, Bob. Take another home game away from me. I appreciate that. So no, I love that the foreigners are all coming here and how much they love in this year of the 250th of our 250th celebration. It's so nice to see the foreigners all coming over from all these different countries and loving up on us and talking about how great the United States is, how easy things are to get, the food, people trying things for the first time. It feels good. I mean, it feels real nice to see other people come across rather than bash the living shit out of us everybody likes to do.
This country was founded on being a melting pot, and that's what you see with the World Cup. It's nice to see.
And these people are loving it. They're loving the United States. Last thing I'll say before we got to go, congratulations to Patrice Bergeron. He make the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And he's going to get his number retired this season, 19th season with the Bruins, third in franchise history in games played, goals, and points. He's a champion, 6-time Selke winner, and 2-time Olympic gold medalist. Mark, you think it's too soon, real quick, to put him up in the rafters? Or pretty much.
Maybe it's okay. I think to put him in the Bruins draft this, but to make the Hall of Fame already.
Well, I don't know.
I guess he's eligible, right? He's eligible.
Yeah,
so I guess, okay. I get that. Yeah,
he's definitely a Hall of
going
Famer.
up. He's worthy of going up in the rafters. Listen, if he's going in the Hockey Hall of Fame, how are you not putting him up in the rafters?
Yeah, I agree.
You
the Celtics put everybody. This is the Bruins, but the Celtics put everybody up there. So
the Celtics are out of control.
Doesn't make a difference. So congratulations to him. But we gotta go. Corso and Catone was presented by Corso Law Group. Okay, no live shows for the next 3 weeks. No live shows.
Chris, when do we come back live so the fans know? What's the date?
July 25th will be the next time. And coincidentally,
training camp.
We will be ready for training camp, ready for the football season. Hey, stay tuned for the Pats Nation as well. When football season kicks up, the Pats Nation kicks up. We're going to have our first pregame show of the day and lots of discussion about the New England Patriots, all the time. So make sure you're tuning into Corso and Catone and the Pats Nation. More people to call us frauds. Yes. Excellent. Trash is what they said. Trash.
They were talking about you, trash. That wasn't about me.
But,
no.
But Joe will be putting up some fun stuff for you guys to take a look at. So make sure you're doing that. Give us the comments. Give us give us a call. Need a hotline. Anything you want. But as always, anything you bring to the table, we will be ready. We are Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. Happy 250th, America.
Yes, yes.
Now find Corso and Catone on AM 790, The Score, iHeartRadio, iTunes, wherever you podcast. Or subscribe to the YouTube channel and catch the chaos every Saturday at noon.